Hello YouTube. Thanks for stopping in my channel. I'm Zach. You're watching ZakDTV. If you like what I do, go ahead and give me a subscribe. If not, well then don't subscribe. Give me a thumbs down. Let me know why. Send me some comments. I'm going to start off today with something a little different. I'd like to start off by sending a little bit of love to the guys in Tehran, Iran, the people in Italy right now. We've got two major situations where we have a lot of people trapped in situations where rescuers have to go in and get these people. We have the avalanche in Italy, and we have a building that fell down in Iran. I just want to send a little bit of love to those guys. The people in there, hold on. They're coming for you. If you're still there, don't let go. They're going to find you. To the rescuers, thanks. You guys are real heroes. You're out there risking your life, and you're still pulling people from the wreckage. Just right before I started recording this, I saw an article. I think they said they're up to 8 out of the place in Italy, and they're still pulling living people out in Iran. So good job, guys. Keep it up, and my thoughts are with you. My prayers are with you. And anybody watching this, keep those guys in your mind. They're doing great work out there. I'm going to start off with something interesting. You know my format here. I'm going to do something interesting, something fun, something important, then we'll do something dumb. We'll round out the day, make it worth laughing at, right? Well, we're going to start with India. India is my interesting topic of the day. They want to get rid of all debit cards. They're looking to get rid of debit cards and all remaining cash by 2020. We're talking 3 years away here, folks. India has already banned its 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. Now, that's about equivalent to about $7 and $15 here in the U.S. They got rid of these bills to stop counterfeiting, money laundering, and other criminal activity, extortion, stuff like that. The ban accounted for 86% of their currency in circulation was removed. Now, most of the transactions happening in India are using ATM cards or credit. Amitabh Kant, I hope I'm saying your name right. Correct me if anybody from India is listening, anybody know how to speak Indian. I might be wrong on that one. He's the head of a government-run policy institute, and they stated that ATM cards would be totally redundant by 2020, and all Indians would need is their thumb or their eye. That's a quote from him. Currently, there is 1.1 billion people out of the 1.3 billion in India that are registered in the government's Unique Identification Program, or UIDAI. Now, it's a program that, according to their webpage, is to empower residents of India with a unique identity and a digital platform to authenticate anywhere at any time. The government is testing a smartphone app that would come with a fingerprint reader to help make this transaction able to happen. They're going to sell the thumbprint reader for about $30. If they can get enough people on board, they can make this a reality. The problem I see with this, though, is only about 70% of India owns smartphones right now. So I'm sure they're going to figure something out. They still have a couple years yet. I'm sure a lot more people will get smartphones. Maybe a program to give some out. I think this is a great idea, though. Get rid of cash, get rid of credit cards, get rid of it all. And let's just use us as our own walking ATMs. Love the idea, and it would save us a lot of money as well. We wouldn't have to pay the reserve to print money for us or anything. It'd really bring a little bit of the control of our monies back to the Americans if we could follow India's lead with this. Let me know what you think, though. I think it's great. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know your ideas on this. For fun, you all know that Donald Trump is now the President of the United States, which is a great honor for the Don. But recently, he received another tribute from the world of entomology. He is now the namesake of a newly discovered species of moth. I do have to say the resemblance is uncanny. It's only 7 to 12 millimeter wide from wingtip to wingtip, a little tiny thing, and it's found in the southwest United States, down around Baja California, the border of Arizona and Mexico, that kind of area. It sports what looks like Trump hair. It has the same color and everything. And it might seem odd that Trump, who doesn't seem like much of an environmentalist, would have a moth named after. But it's not uncommon to see critters named after people. Anyone can have it happen. We have critters named after like Johnny Rotten, Steve Colbert, Barack Obama. Even Adolf Hitler has a beetle named after him. And I'm not talking the Volkswagen, I'm talking a bug. But all said and done, he can't deny the resemblance, and I just think it's a great little piece of news for the day. For my something important, I'd like to talk today about something that's so much bigger than you or I. It's bigger than all of us. It's the future of our history. Now, I know that sounds like an oxymoron, it sounds kind of like a silly gimmick, but hear me out. I read this article today. It was speaking about ISIS destroying yet another historical monument. This is a tetrapylon. It's in Syria. It was built around 200 AD. It's been standing for almost 2,000 years. Plus there's a theater. Just amazing archaeology. That the theater was even still able to be used. They've been holding shows and plays and speeches there recently. This is a building that was built by the Roman Empire. Now when I read about it, it pissed me off. It made my blood boil. I wanted to strangle somebody. And I figured I was going to stand here and complain about how ISIS, they're such assholes, blah blah blah, I can't believe they're doing this to our heritage and this and that. After doing a little bit of research, I realized they aren't the only assholes in history. Now I knew about like the burning of the Great Library of Alexandria. The library, raised by Roman invaders, contained as many as 400,000 scrolls. It was all lost because of war. A war that, in the big scheme of things, was inconsequential. Rome doesn't control that area anymore. They're not even influencing them. It was all for nothing, and we lost a huge piece of our human history. We've lost documents there that we will never see again. There is no way to ever get these things back. And this has happened repeatedly through history. It is such a part of our human story. There are buildings in our history that we don't even know for sure that they exist. They're just rumors. Like, let's say the Temple of Solomon, built at the Temple Mount. We don't even know if it truly existed. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Were they real? Were they not? We don't know, but supposedly they're one of the ancient wonders of the world. Humans have destroyed things that we as people should have preserved. At the same time, destroying an ancient building in ancient times is forgivable. It wasn't ancient then. It was a modern construction, and they used it for power or for whatever. It'd be like if today somebody destroyed Trump Tower. It wouldn't be seen as a great archaeological loss. But what we're doing now is just ridiculous. I say this because it isn't just some extremist asshole who wants to blow up a culturally significant statue to hurt a different culture. We have the area around Mecca. Mecca has been there for thousands of years. We have the area around it now turning into a parking lot with skyrise hotels and fast food joints and everything else. They're destroying old temples. They're destroying 2,000-year-old homes that have stood the test of time, but they're clearing them for progress. To me, that's just unforgivable. At the same time, if leveling our history, our shared human history, is unforgivable, then what ISIS did in Syria is just downright sickening, and it needs to be punished. We need to really take it out on these. But even then, that's not all. Do you remember the Buddha statues that the Taliban blew up a couple years ago because they were false idols? They were 1,500 years old, carved into sandstone, and had stood the test of time. And because someone at that time, over 1,500 years, no one had a problem with them. Somebody in our current time decided, oh, they're idols, we gotta blow them up. I don't know what they were thinking. Or how about that old city of Sanoa? It's in Yemen, where it contains an archaeological dig that is older than Islam. Islam is one of our oldest religions that's still being practiced. And this site was older than Islam. There's a walled city, 2,000-year-old walled city. It's not just the terrorists that destroyed this one. It was coalition forces bombing it, as well as repeated suicide bombings by ISIS. So who's to blame there? We all destroyed it. All this destruction is just really heartbreaking. Just imagine the future, say 2,000 years from now, when they look back on our time. 2,000 years from now, when our gods may not even exist. The same way they really didn't exist 2,000 years ago, they might not exist in 2,000 years. What are they going to think of us? What are they going to think of how petty our disputes are and our fighting is? That we were willing to deprive them of our culture and of their heritage. Let me know what you guys think about this. To me, it's a big deal. I don't know about for you. Give me a heads up. Let's move forward. To finish this up, let's have a little laugh after that. Sorry about that. It's just something I had to get off my chest. This one, I'm gonna do it. I have a whale of a tale for you. I told myself I wasn't going to do it, but I did. Alright, this one's coming out of Vancouver in British Columbia. This is a tale of a battle for a restaurant. Now, the restaurant is being kept out of a previously occupied by a restaurant spot because of its name. Yes, it's a franchise, and it is called Moby Dick's Fish and Chips. We all know Moby Dick, the Great White Whale, and by Herman Melville, Tale of a Great White Whale, Call Me Ishmael. This restaurant, it's a seafood restaurant, so the name fits, wants to move into an area by the harbor and keep its name. They have to get council approval by the council that controls that little, they're calling them condos. I picture like a strip mall kind of area. They are giving the franchise owner and the person who owns the slot that wants to rent it to them the excuse that they cannot put the restaurant in there because the name Dick in Moby Dick is offensive. Yep. The council has such dirty minds that when they hear Moby Dick, they think penis. I know. I can't believe it either. I kind of do have to laugh at this, just because you gotta wonder what about this council makes them so against a name like Moby Dick. Granted, kids might get a chuckle out of it. We all did in high school when we had to read the book, right? But it is a piece of American literature, and it is something that I think everybody would associate with a fish and chips restaurant. It makes me wonder if somebody on the council's name might have been Richard. They grew up being called Dick, and they just couldn't take anymore. Well, that's it for my show. Go ahead and subscribe if you like what I do. Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. Leave some comments. I'd like to discuss with you what you think of what I'm doing. Any suggestions are very accepted. And if you want, go ahead and subscribe to me. I'm ZakDTV on Facebook as well as on Twitter. I check them every day, so if you want to talk to me there, go ahead. I'll talk to you then. Well, see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.